What's up Kaiju Bros, it's me KaijuS and welcome to another figure review. Today we'll be taking a look at the S.H.Figuarts Ultraman Best Selection action figure. I picked this figure up as a personal birthday present from a shop called AnimeXtreme, an official collaborator with Tamashii Nations. This figure cost me about $140, so I had some pretty high expectations from this figure. With all that out of the way, is Ultraman a worthy item to add to your collection? What, you saw the title of the video, didn't you? Before we get into the juicy stuff, let's take a look at the box this figure came in. On the front, we get a picture of Ultraman in his iconic fighting stance. The lower section includes text showing us exactly what we should be expecting. Figuarts is so confident in their product that we have a sticker telling us that this is Tamashii Nations quality. I wouldn't be so sure about that. On the back of the box, we see Ultraman doing his iconic transformation pose and his iconic flight pose. Ultraman will be doing more poses on the sides of the box. I really like the design of this box. The streaks of red, paired with the white boxes surrounded with black borders and text, really make it pop. I just wish the figure would complement it well enough. Now, before we jump to my critiques, let's take some time to give some credit where credit is due. The sculpt on this figure screams nothing but Ultraman. Whenever I hear someone say Ultraman, this design is the first thing that comes to mind, and this figure encapsulates that perfectly. The face looks exactly as it should, with his giant yellow eyes, mouth, rectangular ears, and fin that extends from his face to his back. I can't help but appreciate the levels of detail in Ultraman's eyes. There's this really cool effect on them that gives them the texture when putting them under certain lighting. You can even see the dots at the bottom of the eyes where the suit actor was able to see out of. His fin extends to his back, and you can even see the indentations in the middle where the zipper of the original suit was. Now this is some insane attention to detail. Looking throughout the rest of the body, all of Ultraman's stripes are sculpted to a T, from his upper body to his legs. They look exactly like how they are on the original design. He's even got his iconic color timer, which can do something pretty cool once I show you later. Overall, the levels of details on Ultraman are incredible and match the character perfectly. Even so, that's not all there is to this figure. Ultraman comes with a total of 5 accessories. He has 2 pairs of extra interchangeable hands. One pair consists of chopping hands, or the hands that Ultraman uses when achieving flight. The other pair consists of the hand position that Ultraman uses when taking on his iconic fighting stance. As you can see, I'm not very good at achieving it. The last accessory that this figure comes with is an alternative color timer, this time red instead of blue. For those unaware, Ultraman's color timer changes from blue to a flashing red when he stays on Earth for too long, meaning that he's losing power and will need to retreat before the transformation becomes undone. With this, we can take off the blue color timer and put the red one in its place, which will make it look like Ultraman is in a bit of a pickle and needs to wrap things up fast. This figure doesn't come with a Spacium meme or anything special like that, but at least we have something to work with here. Unfortunately, this is where my compliments come to an end for the most part. Let's talk about what I don't like about this figure. Hey everyone, it's me KaijuS, and I wanted to interrupt this video for a quick moment to tell you that we have a Discord server. It's a place where you can interact with and talk with other people and fans, or maybe even talk with me. In this server, you'll be notified about upcoming videos and have access to some other awesome stuff. You can talk about your favorite games and movies, share pictures of your favorite figures, and just have a laugh. The link to the KaijuSaurus server will be in the description of this video. That's all I have to say in this short interruption. I'll shut up and let you get back to the review. See you there! While this Ultraman figure uses all the appropriate colors for the character, the paint application itself leaves much to be desired. From afar, it looks relatively okay. On the other hand, you'll start to notice some issues with it once you look closer. For instance, on Ultraman's right arm, the paint application doesn't line up properly with the pattern established on the sculpt. We have red paint going outside the indentations where the stripes are supposed to be. It gets even worse when you get to his legs. The paint doesn't line up at all. We even have some splotches of red where they aren't supposed to be. Now, a bit of an imperfect paint job would have been forgivable, but some parts just feel so off that it's distracting. Don't even get me started on the paint chipping on this guy. Whenever I try to put this guy in poses, the paint chips off. An example is on Ultraman's torso, which chips on the abdomen whenever I try to move the chest piece. It's even worse on the back, just look at it. The figure is slowly destroying itself the more I use it. It really gets noticeable when you look at the neck. You can move the neck to the sides and to the back, but by doing that, the red paint begins to chip and reveal the gray underneath it. Notice how the paint chipping issues are tied to this figure's articulation. I've got problems with that too. Just by looking at it, you can already tell that this figure is packed with articulation. That would be a good thing if the joints actually worked properly. Some joints like the elbows and knees work just fine, but I have serious gripes with the shoulders and chest. Listen to the sound the shoulder makes when I try to move it up. The joint feels so stiff that I feel like the arm is gonna snap off every time I try to move it. Ultraman's right leg has the complete opposite problem and just loves to hang loose. It's not always easy to keep a good position when the leg just keeps swinging back into its original place when I try to move this figure. Ultraman's upper body is the bane of my entire existence. This thing loves to pop off when I try to get a dynamic pose in. I tried a trick to try and have the chest stay in place that involved putting glue in the socket and putting the joint back in, and that still didn't help. Overall, the articulation on this figure feels really cheap. It's got stiff joints, loose joints, and joints that love to pop out of their place. This figure itself even feels like it was made with some sort of cheaper material. I think I'm just gonna skip over the size comparison this time around and give my final verdict, because I'm not recommending this figure to anyone. So, what do I think about this Ultraman figure? The sculpt and detail on this figure are the best things that it has to offer, being an excellent representation of the original Ultraman. It has a few accessories, but nothing to write home about. The paint job and articulation are where this figure really falls apart, figuratively and literally. The paint job lacks consistency, doesn't always match the mold, and can even be a bit sloppy in some areas. The paint even chips if you do so much as use the articulation on this figure. Even with so many points of articulation, the figure falls flat with loose and tight joints, and even falls apart when trying to use it. Keep in mind, I already had to pay over $100 for this figure, so I came in with really high expectations. Unfortunately, Ultraman failed to deliver here. With all that out of the way, the final verdict for the S.H.Figuarts Ultraman Best Selection action figure is a 4 out of 10, 2 out of 5 stars. I really wanted to like this figure, but there's so much untapped potential here that another figure from the same company already managed to achieve. If there's one thing I learned from all this, it's to do your research before buying your figures. This is why I'll present you with an Ultraman figure I'd highly recommend instead of this one. This right here is the S.H.Figuarts Shinkocho Seiho Ultraman figure. This figure looks and feels better than the Best Selection figure, and costs $10 less. It's got excellent attention to detail, great paint applications, and various points of articulation that actually work and let you get in even more dynamic poses. Did I mention that it comes with even more accessories? That's right, this figure comes with all the things the Best Selection figure had, plus more. It comes with not only a Spacium beam piece, but also his iconic Ultra Slashes. It also scales excellently next to your other Kaiju action figures. Keep in mind, this was cheaper than the other figure that I just reviewed, so if you're looking for a cool Ultraman figure, go pick this up. I'd like to do a full review on this in the future. So, that concludes my review on the S.H.Figuarts Ultraman Best Selection action figure. It was refreshing to do a video that was not Godzilla-centric for once. Of course, some of you may agree with what I have to say, and some of you may have a different opinion from mine. I encourage you to share your thoughts and experiences in the comments. That's the end of this video. Thanks for sticking around. If you enjoyed it, then be sure to hit the like button, not only for YouTube's algorithm, but to let me know that I'm posting good content for you guys. If you know an Ultraman fan who's interested in these kind of things, then maybe even consider sharing this video with them. Also, if it's your first time here, now would be a good time to check out some of my other content. Who knows, maybe if you like what you see enough, you can subscribe? It would really mean a lot, and it would seriously help out. Want to see another video just like this? You can find another figure review of mine in the top right corner, where I take a look at the Playmates Godzilla X Kong the New Empire Scar King with whip/toy. If you hit the bell, you'll also be notified when I upload more reviews. For the next review, we'll be taking a step back and looking at the Bandai statue of the guy from Fortnite. I'm also on more social media platforms like Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok, so the links to those will be in the description as well. I think that covers it, so thanks for watching, and I'll catch you later, Kaiju Bros. Stomp on!